which leads us to the third keynote of today, and that is Aldo Vargas Tetmaier. And he is actually from a long time he worked at the Institute for Urban Development in Krakow. But as of 2013, he became the coordinator of the National URBACT, the contact point at the Association of Polish Cities. He will lead us into the perspective from his work field and portfolio, and I'm really curious to hear all about it. Also because originally this conference was planned to be physical and was planned to be hosted by our Polish partners. And Aldo, please, the stage is yours.
Hello, do you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, okay, perfect. So good morning, everyone, and I'm very glad to be here. I'm thankful for your invitation and for giving me the possibility to present a little bit our association and how we might be able to cooperate eventually with the REPAiR. My presentation is going to be a little less related to circular economy for the simple fact that I represent an association of cities, not a research and development institution. But let's see how these work on later on. Please, can I have the first slide? So the Association of Polish Cities is an association of 333 cities. I just put here in the presentation 332, but just we have managed to have another one, a new member, so now we are 333 cities. We gather all cities, 1/3 of all Polish cities of very different sizes, from very big metropolitan cities to very small cities all over Poland. And our general aim, our mission is to effectively support cities in their day-to-day working and in their administrative tasks, and to develop everything that is needed for them to function better, to learn from each other, and to develop better their urban policies at the local level, at the city level. We are a strong institution in Poland. We are the association which gathers the most of the cities in Poland. So, well, we cooperate with a lot of European and international influence groups or other institutions that gather the policies. We do a lot of development projects also. May I have the next slide, please? For instance, the first one that I could mention is the one that you can see here, the local government analysis system, which we started in at the very end of the last century, which is a tool that helps us to compare basic information from different cities. And to have a simple image and very concise image of the level of development of different cities in Poland. This is an analytical tool. It's open for all cities to join, to all cities in Poland to join and to compare their characteristics there and their data. And this has been started at the end of the last century, and now it runs as an independent activity. May I have the next slide, please? We also, of course, cooperate and we participate in many projects. A lot of them financed by, for example, EOG and the funds, the Norwegian financial mechanism, among others. The projects such as the building instrument, the institutional capacity of local governments. Well, I won't mention all these projects because you can see them. The thing is that in general, what we do through those projects is that we help decision makers at the local level to learn how to function better on the administrational and management level. And we are very effective in that because we are heard by all the cities, and we support them with all these activities. Next slide, please. These are some other additional projects that we realize here and that we are trying to develop. For instance, all of these projects that have been developed until now, they are more or less all of them finished, but they have continuations in next projects. For example, can I have the next slide, please? Yes, this project, which is running now, the strengthening of the capacity of medium and small-sized cities in Poland for implementing effective development policies. This is a project that is developed basing on Norwegian funds, and that is very effective in showing small and medium-sized cities what is the way to make their urban policies more effective, and we do it through through a mechanism of supporting these cities through our experts capacities. We have a team of 54 experts that have already a strong experience in urban issues, that have been working in cities for many years. So we support the cities with our expertise in all the possible fields of development, be it waste management, water management, mobility, many of the most important areas of activities of cities. This requires, of course, not only a specific knowledge, but also this requires from us to be very well informed and to try to develop and to deepen our own knowledge related to all urban issues. So we are in a constant process of not only of supporting and teaching cities how to better manage their own resources, but also how to develop our own knowledge as experts. Next slide, please. We do it through a series of different tools and possibilities. For example, here we develop the Forum of Local Development. It's an online series of seminars. They started in the very best moment that could have started, because it started just at the beginning of the pandemic, at the lockdown. We didn't plan it, of course. We planned to do the Forum of Local Development. It was obvious that it was needed for everybody. But then when we were about to start, the lockdown came in, and this was an impulse to put us even stronger, in a stronger way, into this kind of tools. By the way, you have the same experience, I suppose, that lockdown has been a great impulse for all of us to change completely our approach to digital tools. And we have seen in Polish cities, for example, among others, of course, a great increase in the use of digital tools, also for the administrational level, things that for until now were not that obvious for them to adopt. All of it has been introduced and forced by the situation. And so that's the Forum of Local Development is a tool that we meet every 2 or 3 weeks. We invite a wide audience of medium and small-sized cities in Poland, and large cities also, of course, and we discuss specific topics, among others also those related to climate adaptation, elements of circular economy, but much more on the very practical level of management of specific areas like waste management, water management, etc., etc. But inside of our association, we also have internal groups of knowledge development, so to say. We have organized a series of climatic Tuesdays, as we call them, where we share the most advanced knowledge related to all issues related to climate adaptation. Next slide, please. In general, we support cities to participate also in projects, also in European projects. At least 2 cities in Poland, which is Warsaw and Lublin, are participating in Interreg Europe projects in the field of circular economy. For example, here, the Resolve project with the participation of Warsaw. This project is aimed at reducing CO2 emission in central areas of the city. This topic is quite important in Poland, as you all know. Probably air quality is an important issue in Poland, and we are trying to do a lot to better this situation. It is a hot topic in big cities, and we struggle to introduce better technologies for heating, for transport, etc., etc. So we are working strongly on that. Next slide, please. And as far as I'm personally concerned, I'm the contact point, as has been introduced here. I'm the contact point for the REPAiR program. And this is the list of REPAiR networks, of REPAiR projects that are being realized now in Poland. So we have 25 projects, both of the so-called transfer networks as well as the action planning networks. Most of them are, all of them are dedicated to just passing through and to sharing knowledge developed in cooperation with other cities in Europe, also related to climate adaptation, and to prepare them not only for what is happening now, but also for the next European perspective, which is very important because, as you know, as we all know, it will be much more focused on everything climate. Next slide, please. One of our projects, just to give you an example, is the Tropa Verde project, which in the case of Poland, it's not one city, it's a whole agglomeration, the Opole agglomeration, which is adapting to their reality, to their local reality, good practice of Santiago de Compostela in northern Spain, which is about managing waste in a much more innovative way, creating a kind of a local economy based on waste management, and inciting and inspiring people to be more willing to cooperate in this economy of share of waste for services or goods in the city. So it's for Poland, it's quite a new idea, and we want, of course, not only to learn it practically in the Opole agglomeration, but also we are thinking about how to spread this kind of approach to the larger area of Poland. Next slide, please. Can I have the next slide? We also cooperate with other national programs, like here the Partnership Cities Initiative, which is a way of transferring this kind of approach, the REPAiR approach, to other cities in Poland. We have just finished 3 projects with urban mobility, revitalization, and air quality, as I mentioned, this very important topic. 3 topics that are strictly or more indirectly related to climate adaptation. Can I have the next slide, please? As the National Urban Point, we are engaged in many European initiatives, such as the European Urban Agenda or the New Leipzig Charter. And by this way, we want to make Polish cities more aware of what is happening in Europe, what is the mainstream of urban policies in Europe. And we are very much willing to also know more about the REPAiR project and how we can make it more available to the average small and medium size and also a bigger city in Poland. That's all from my side. Last slide, please. If you have any question, I will be more than happy to answer to it. You can contact me. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Aldo, Vargas, Tetmaier. It was a pleasure to also hear, let's say, the Polish context and also how it interlinks to the rest of European initiatives and joint projects. And as far as I'm being told, this is also a special week, of course, because this is the week of circularity, if I understood well, in Poland.
Yes, this is a national level program or initiative. Yes, this issue has grown in importance for already some time now, because waste management in Poland is an issue that needs to be resolved quickly. I haven't had time to present specific projects in Poland. We have very good examples of projects that are being realized in Poland, but we need still to share this knowledge and to make it more available to all local governments.
Yes, I think you gave a good overview how you are doing this in a very active mode and with a lot of success. Thank you very much for your contribution of today in your keynote. Which brings me to also important to mention that within you as a registered audience, you have the opportunity to ask questions. And you can do so through the chat box of Hopin, which is the platform we use. Please do not forget about this, because this is being sent, let's say the most important questions will be clustered and will be sent to me, and I might bring them into the panel discussions later on this morning. And also in this panel discussions, we will also have the scientific coordinator of REPAiR at the table here in Amsterdam, as well as from the user board, Evelien Jonkhoff, who has given the Amsterdam presentation, but who also is representing, let's say, the user board members from all over Europe in our conversation in the panel discussion later on. For now, I would like to thank again the three keynote speakers for their contribution and to give this perspective of the European, but also two perspectives of an urban metropolitan scale on circularity and the many initiatives which are ongoing at the moment, and which also puts forward that although very important, COVID-19, of course, will not interrupt these kinds of necessary and urgent transitions of our today's society. And I think it is inspiring to see that in many places, similar to the Polish, like we show now, as well as the Amsterdam event, Amsterdam example, that we have many other places throughout the world actually, but in particular in Europe, who are taking the lead in this transition from a linear to our circular society. Stay with us. We will have now a short break of 10 minutes, and then we will continue with an important part of the program, which actually is the showing in a keynote by the scientific coordinator Alex Wandel, the key outcomes of the REPAiR project, followed by a panel discussion, as I just shared with you, with 6 work package leaders of the project, as well as the user board leader here and the scientific coordinator. And afterwards, we will also share with you 3 other European projects and their, let's say, outcomes so far, because they're running often still, so they're in the midst of their running time, but they will also be shown afterwards. And but that is all after 10 minutes of break. We will continue this broadcast live from here from the Amsterdam Pakhuizen Zwijger at 10:30 10, which is in 9 minutes from now. Thank you very much, and stay tuned.